Hi class, I'm going to talk about your reading reflections. In this case, I've asked you to write regarding a case study, Margie and her daughter getting a tattoo, and the way in which Margie reacts very immediately to the news. I think this is a good example of what Haidt is trying to say, that there is an immediate sort of intuition, and it's not blank. The intuition has emotion attached. It might not be full-blown anger or jealousy or whatever, right? It might just be kind of a twinge of emotion that causes us to move away, move toward. It says, oh, I don't like that, I think that's wrong, right? It leads to a kind of moral judgment. And we then try to find reasons for why we felt that way. Now, sometimes we can come up with good reasons. Sometimes we don't have great reasons. They're just kind of like we're searching for some reason why we have the judgment we do. But whether they're good reasons or not, often the reasoning process is secondary. Okay? So a post hoc reason can be a good reason, like that really hurts people. That's not fair, that's very selfish. These are all good reasons to say that's not a good choice, right? To make a moral judgment. But even if you have a good reason, it often happened after you had already had a kind of, ooh, like, I don't know if I like that. Or, ooh, I really want that, right? It happens after your intuition. The elephant responds first. That part of your brain that gives you the emotional reaction happens first. We know this scientifically, neurologically. That part of your brain is quick. The part that is conscious, the part that is self-aware, the part that evaluates is slower. It happens second. Because of that, we have to be careful. My elephant reacts. I can't help that. I look for reasons that come second. I just want to be aware. I don't want to search for reasons that justify my elephant like a defense attorney, right? Instead, I want to actually use good, solid moral criteria for my judgments. And sometimes moral reasoning will affirm my elephant, like, hey, good job, elephant. You did the right thing. That was a good judgment. And sometimes good moral reasoning will contradict the elephant, and you're going to have to know that I have that reaction, but it's not a good one. In this case, in the world we live in with tattoos, a mom who alienates her daughter because of a tattoo, using the Bible as judgment, is probably not going to create a healthy relationship between mom and daughter, right? So we're going to have to use reasoning on the back end to say, you know, you have a reaction to tattoos, mom, but try to listen to your daughter. Try to calm yourself down and really hear the person out, right? You can't help yourself for having reactions. You just do. You're human, right? Emotion is real. Intuition is real. You have reactions. The issue is to try to put that aside and to try to think clearly about what are the intuitions that are really healthy, really moral, really Christian, and what are the intuitions that are not, but I'm trying to make them fit, right? And that assessment's not easy. So I don't want to pile on Margie for her intuitions. We all have them. You have them, I have them, right? And so I'll try to say it a little bit differently. I think that humans have too many opinions, right? We have too many opinions, and the opinions we hold are too strong, and the evidence we have for them is usually very weak. And our elephants are often doing much of the work, right? And I can give examples, I guess, to this, right? So recently there's been the situation with Iran. And the U.S. doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And Iran gets frustrated because the U.S. is sanctioning them financially, calling for the globe to do the same. They see that as an aggressive act. They take over one of the U.S. embassies. 52 people are hostage, right? The U.S. drone strikes one of their military leaders in Iraq, and back and forth it goes. Now, I'm guessing that many of you have opinions about how the U.S. has responded to Iran. Some of you think it's good to be tough. Yes, we can't just let them take over one of our embassies. We can't just let someone like, a nation like Iran have a nuclear weapon. We're doing the right thing, we're being tough. And some of you are like, this is just Trump being crazy, and this doesn't work. We have to rethink our strategy in the way we deal with countries overseas, etc. But you have opinions, you have fears. Oh, we don't want to go to war. Maybe we have to go to war, all these things. You can't help but have opinions. You're human. You're a judgment-making machine, so am I. But what level of expertise or knowledge do you have about the Iran situation? Because I can tell you, for me, I have almost no knowledge, right? I read some newspapers. I look at the New York Times. I don't know. Am I the CIA? Do I have any expertise? Could I name who the Iranian president is or any of his major aides? Do I really have an adequate history of Iran and their nuclear program? Am I an expert? I have this opinion about what we're doing and whether it's right or wrong and how we should be handling it, but I don't have any grounds for it. My elephant, right, doesn't trust Trump. I'll be honest, right? Like, I don't know that he's trustworthy as a person. I don't trust him. He's doing X, Y, and Z. My immediate reaction is, oh, I don't know if I can trust that, right? But I don't have any information. I literally have no knowledge. I don't have any insider information. I have no access to the stuff that the president has access to. He has a lot more information than I do. But I've got this elephant reaction that develops into an opinion, and then I search for information. And on the internet, I search for groups that agree with me. I search for editorial columns that agree. That are like, ooh, I don't know if what we're doing is right. We're on the brink of war. And I justify my bias. I've got this opinion about something I almost know nothing about. I'm guessing, maybe you don't care about Iran. Maybe you have no opinion about that. But have you ever been behind a car and seen a bumper sticker and you immediately form an opinion based on that bumper sticker about the person inside that car, what they're like, what their worldview is, right? You made a judgment. But you don't know them, you don't know their story, Our elephants are perpetually making judgments, making evaluations. You overhear someone at church say something theological, and you're like, whoa, that's right? Or they're talking about their weekend, and you think, oh man, I don't know if that's the right way for Christians to act. And you immediately make a kind of judgment, you form an opinion, right? Here's the situation. You can't help but be a judgment-making machine because you're human. But you can be aware that you're doing it. And you can become aware that you have very little information for the opinions that you hold, right? I have really strong opinions about all kinds of things for which I'm not an expert. I'm not even close. I don't really understand both sides, and I haven't really worked to understand both sides. I haven't talked to people that disagree with me about that issue very much. I haven't sought out experts. And so I have to be aware that I'm doing it so that I can slow down, and instead of justifying my bias, justifying my knee-jerk opinion or judgment or reaction, I actually slow down and be thoughtful, listen and learn, and take the posture of humility. Humans need to say, I don't know, more often. Humans need to say, I have no opinion about that, more often. Right? Margie needs to say, my initial reaction is to be kind of upset that you did that, but I'd rather understand why you got the tattoo. What does it symbolize? How, help me understand your situation more, and right? Slow down, recognize we're doing it, and then become a more humble, thoughtful, rational agent in the world. Because more often than not, we're going to see throughout the book, evidence says you form an initial opinion, and then more often reason becomes a defense attorney or a press secretary to defend that initial judgment or opinion rather than a scientist looking for the truth. So hopefully this helps. Again, the whole goal here is to understand humans and human nature better so that we can become more moral over time, more like Christ over time.